everyone. Okay, so I promised a couple of days ago that I would record a current flip through of this journal. This is the journal that I handmade with file folders. I absolutely love this journal so very much. I've had so much trouble with the binding. I didn't follow the tutorial exactly that I had followed to make this, and I ran into all kinds of problems with this bookboard tape that doesn't stick well to cardboard, which makes no sense. But anyway, I don't want to take the little protective sheets off because I just put them on there. But I did go in and cut down scrapbook paper and glue it very well over the edges of that stupid book binding tape so it would actually stick. And then this was hand painted and then covered with wax. I will probably go ahead and wax this paper too in the end when it's fully done. But for now, I'm happy with it. I'll show you the other side, although it's kind of hard to see how pretty the other side is because it's covered up. But it does still have that matching paper. All right, so let's get into the flip. This one, I don't even remember. I think it's pretty close to done, but I can't really remember. So obviously I started this when Bernie was still running. So I started this before the primary, before the Democrats cheated him, which they absolutely did. They completely cheated him. And I resent it. And I actually left the Democratic Party at that point. I had been a member for 30 plus years. And I was one of those hard-edged voted party line. I've never voted up until this last year for a Republican ever. And the only Republican I voted for was a sheriff because we only have Republican sheriffs that ever run. I don't know why. I think because being a cop is a Republican way of life. That's all I'm saying about that. But I did actually vote for the one who reduced their budget by half. That's the kind of police sheriff that I appreciate. So I did vote for him, but I did leave the Democratic Party. I will not ever vote for a Democrat again because I don't ever want to encourage a political party that would do what they did to a candidate that the people wanted, and overwhelmingly Republicans and Democrats and independents wanted Bernie, and they rigged the primary, so I dislike them greatly. Yeah, and they only have themselves to blame. So I also was writing about toxic feminism because Elizabeth Warren accused Bernie of being sexist, which Bernie is not a sexist, and anyone who believed what she said needs better critical thinking skills instead of just buying into propaganda and lies, because she lied. She just outright lied. And I really, really, really dislike her. And funny enough, in the beginning of the election cycle, she was one of the people, if I couldn't have Bernie, I would have wanted her. And I'm really, really glad that she sort of took her mask off and we could see who she really was. And Bella Ciao, because I absolutely love Money Heist. I can't wait until there's another season of it. And I called this the first year of the pandemic because, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think we're going to get, at least in the U.S. anyway, get this pandemic under control anytime soon, because everyone in the U.S. is just a selfish baby and won't wear a mask. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, and then this was kind of like, about the primary after they cheated Bernie. It was like, is it okay to talk about it yet? Because I'm, would really like to talk about it. And then just some other things. Sometimes this stuff is kind of snarky, and I don't explain why, because drama. But I do definitely snark in my art journal. That's just part of my personality. And I'm not changing for nobody. A lot of the times too, like the Vile Maxim, these are things that come out of either like videos I watch, books I read. Anytime there's a phrase or words, and I've been this way forever, for as long as I can remember, whenever there's anything that just for some reason it just strikes me, I just like, oh, something that I hear, I write it in my journal. And lately I have been um, going with the flow, going with the times. And so every time I put a hashtag, so the Vital Maxim I did, and then it's just a ride, because it is just a ride. Life is just a ride, and you might as well enjoy it. Haven't done a lot of guys lately. That was one of the few I think I've done in 2020. Clearly, taking back the means of production is what we need to do, so that we can have nice things like free healthcare. And my ode to Bernie. Bernie was too nice for us. We need a rebel, and we really do. But I'm not sure that exists or is allowed to exist within our current political system in this country. These were my little scraps that I was playing around with. And what's really funny is I did this, and then I was online the other day looking at art journal videos, and I found this is a trend of people using strips, not in the circle, way or whatever that I did, but there's a whole trend for that, and I didn't even know it. So funny. All the different types of things I can plant that mosquitoes don't like, because we have a huge mosquito problem here in Florida. This was a sketch I did from, interestingly enough, shadows and cracks and stains on a concrete floor. And it's all about the same thing when you look up at clouds in the sky. Whatever is kind of in your mind is what you see. So there's actually technically one bunny here. This is a scary, crazy bunny. And then I think and then this is a little dog and a big dog. There's a bird's face here. It's very interesting. More of those fun glasses that I love so much. I even put my own picture in here since I'm planning to keep it anyway. This was talking about food forests and how sad it makes me when I go, I drive down the road and I see they're putting in all these plants that are just for aesthetics. Food plants are actually quite beautiful, and I think we should plant food forests in roadways and highways and everywhere we can. Instead of having these long lawns, we should just have food forests. I think it would be amazing. This is a Maddie page, and I don't remember if I recorded this or not. This is actually acrylic, although it looks a lot like it might be a gouache painting, but it actually is an acrylic painting. And this was a page that I did something over here and I absolutely hated it. So instead of, ripping it up or whatever, I kept only this part that I liked. And then actually this is what was in the background that I didn't like. All I did was just take a charcoal pencil, draw out a pattern, and then just paint all around it. So this was the original stuff that I didn't like, but I really like it now that it became flowers. And then this is just a little window decal that I just glued in. This I think was some form of a lesson or a video talking about abstracting out magazine collage, and otherwise just playing. And of course this bunny came back again. Lots of angsty stuff in here. And I don't really remember either of these, if they were lessons or just me working in my journal, testing out more stencils, because what is life if you're not testing out stencils? Another Maddie page. This one, Maddie and I were actually working on this together at the same time. So we were sitting here in the studio, she was sitting beside me, and we were cutting things out of magazines. And she actually cut this girl out and said this was how she saw herself when she was older. And it's just, I think that's just the sweetest thing in the world. And then she wanted to draw a kitty cat because I had a kitty cat somewhere else, I think, in this journal or a different journal that we had out. Yeah, so I miss those. I miss that right there. It's irreplaceable as far as like I don't get those moments anymore. I almost wish I had turned the video camera on for some of these moments so that I could have them, documented them, but I didn't. I only have one video of me and Maddie sitting and, well, I have two videos of me and Maddie sitting and painting together. Let's see. So this one, I just started doing all these faces because my students asked me, you guys, or Patreon students, either way, asked me to do 3/4 faces. And so then I was like, oh, I haven't drawn a 3/4 face in a while. I better draw a few of them. That, of course, was after the lesson. So if I had practiced beforehand, the faces in the lesson would have looked better, but I didn't. I practiced after when I realized, wow, you really need to practice better, practice more, Christy. But yeah, so just random things that just like, pop through my head. Eventually this will get painted, and I will eliminate some things and keep other things and preserve some. There's a couple of pages like this in this journal. This was me using one of my stencils as, just one stencil making up a page, but then I did come in later and add this, which is another one of my stencils. This page was designed to go with this. I like it just like it is, although I do kind of feel like I should have put something else on it. I almost feel like I might even do that, just add some random collage or something to it. I'm not really sure, but it does feel now, after I have sat with it for as long as I have, that I do wish it had a little something more. So probably will put something on there. Love this page. I love these big giant letters. It takes time to sit and trace around these. These are like stencils for like mailbox numbers and stuff and signs, but I really do like the way that looks, so it was worth the time and effort put into it. And this was fun. I think this might have been a live or something. I don't really remember, but I know that it took me forever to get this to look a little bit like islands. The original collage images was a picture of Mars. But I wanted to try to make it look like islands, like water. And eventually I felt like I did get that. I think if you find collage items that are like, calligraphy, or that have a lot of points that you can draw out from, I love doing this, and I think other people should give it a try. And I know for sure part of this anyway was definitely like a YouTube video. Where I was trying to demonstrate some concept. Who knows what it was now. This again was just, I love to paint clouds. I love to paint skies. They make me so happy. And this was sort of some commentary on what things that might be happening in my life. And this was just literally, this is a piece of collage. I absolutely fell in love with this artist painting, and all I wanted to do was make an entire page of it, so that's what I did. Okay, more of that drawing, where I was doing like the 3/4 faces, and like this is an extreme 3/4 face, almost a full profile, and just playing around. This is a quote by me. I was always fighting life, but I learned to surrender instead. The journey isn't any better, it's just easier. And that's actually a direct quote from me. Sorry, I'm flipping back. I won't bother, but anyway, I've been trying to put more quotes that were things that I thought up, or I said, or I wrote. It's been a lot of fun. I love this page. I love kind of trying to combine abstract collage, faces, and then obviously flowers, because that's what I love. This entire page was created because of this piece of collage here, and it had this little crab, but the crab was too small to make it work on the page. So I went ahead and fancy cut her out, and then I just looked at the picture of the little crab and drew, and tried to paint a little bit of a bigger one. But I absolutely love this page entirely. I'm pretty happy with a lot of the pages in this. I don't remember if this was a lesson or if I was just goofing around, but basically I just stained and watercolored the entire page. Then I drew this girl, and then I finally decided that I just, wanted just that part of it. I probably should have picked a different color other than the pink, something that would be darker so that it would make her be lighter. And if you've never tried that trick before, it is a lot of fun, and it does work really well. And then these are more of my little scrappy strips. This is actually a quote from a song. Space aliens. Who knows? That was probably from a book. I love to read space operas when I'm in the right mood for it, especially really old ones. Even though they tend to have a lot of misogyny, sometimes they, the thinking back in the day was a little openly racist, and misogynistic. But I still do really enjoy. Outside of that, I enjoy the stories. This I did a long time ago, and then I was testing stencils. I actually used this for the Etsy listing, I think, for that. I have learned how to use the sketch pens on my Cameo. So these are some designs for stencils. And I decided instead of cutting them out first, I would have it sketch them out first so I could look at them. And now I don't know what to do with them. So I stuck them in here thinking I'll eventually glue them down somewhere. And again, don't remember if this was just playing around. I think this was a video because I remember flipping this backwards. So this might have been a video, or at least part of it was. This is what I'm trying to avoid now, is having pages that are just faces all the time. I still love to do them, don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to incorporate other things into my journal other than just the faces. Probably, though, everything is a cycle and a circle, so probably after I've successfully done that really well, then I'll end up doing an all faces journal or something. Another Maddie page. And this one was my version. This was in March, and this was a Corona live stream, and people asked me to draw masks. And this is my take that our politicians are just playing with our lives. It's all just about money, and they could care less if we die. And I still think that that's absolutely true. If it wasn't true, then we would have universal medical care, and we would have mask mandates right now, and it wouldn't be a focus on pumping chemicals into our bodies. Other countries have successfully done it without doing that, but in America, it's always the cheap, easy, selfish fix instead of doing the right thing in the long run for ourselves. So I'm sure people will end up developing health issues from the vaccines. And you can kind of guarantee that's probably going to happen because all these companies wanted immunity from liability. And if anyone heard that, that the companies were demanding liability from immunity, then that should be like huge red flags flying up in the air. Instead, people are just like, oh, I can't wait to get the vaccine so I don't have to wear a mask anymore. Okay. Anyway, this is my take on the election. It's all just puppet theater. You had Trump, you had Biden. They're both exactly the same person. One was a Democrat and says things on camera nicer. One is a Republican and says things on camera rudely, but it's all just the same. And that's just my view. Contour drawing, I was playing around with that. I would like to do more of this stuff because I really love the look of her. But I haven't gone back to it. I kind of forget that there's things that I want to do more of until I flip through my journals. This one went through quite a few iterations before I was finally done with it, but I really do like this page because I love these colors together. Always have, always will. This was, I think, I'm not sure if this is even the last one. This was another one of those that once I started doing the 3/4 drawings, then I kind of couldn't stop. So I just kept going. Again, I added playing with a mask. And this one it had absolutely every intention of coming back in and drawing a face. So I had a face here. I didn't like it. So I did this abstract painting and drawing, and then I just liked it. And that sometimes just happens. Like I just really kind of like it, and I'm not sure if I will put a face on it because I just like it is. This was the page that I did. Like I said, I didn't pre-practice my 3/4 faces, so this was the actual lesson. I mean, the lesson still gets through. They're just not my most favorite faces. But then again, my best faces are not drawn on camera. My best faces are drawn when I'm completely relaxed and just drawing for my own purposes. When I turn the camera on, you feel like you have, like there's no way to not feel like you're performing to some extent when you turn a camera on. You are recording yourself, so those faces tend to not be as good, but as long as the instruction is good, I'm satisfied. And I had followed a tutorial on making a weird kind of paper, and I absolutely hated it. I had glued a few pieces down, and so the other day I just kind of lightly gessoed over this, and we'll prep it and create something, a page that I'm much happier with. This was the Fire is Coming page. Still really happy with this page overall, and I really enjoyed how that video turned out, because it was nice and smooth and quick, and it wasn't one that drug on. Funny about my videos, I guess. I don't watch back most of my videos because it just annoys me listening to myself. This was maybe part of the 3/4, or maybe it was just painting with gouache after the 3/4. I don't remember exactly. I do think it was recorded though. I think this is the last page with the 3/4. Well, just like the 3/4 thing made me do a bunch of face drawings. How many of these will stay? How many will get painted over? I'm not sure yet. This page I constantly am changing. I still feel a need to work more on it. There was all kinds of collage and stuff here, and I hated it. I painted it out hot pink, then I painted it out black, then I added white back into it. This was a lovely pink, like a, I can't think for the life of me, a Posca highlighter type of marker, and it ran out when I was doing it, so I threw it away, and then I forget, I think I got something on it or something, so then I painted it a tan color, and it made her look terrible. So then I put this turquoise, but I still feel like she needs to stand out better, and maybe the white is part of the problem. So I might put like a deep blue or something here to see if that makes her pop. This is definitely the kind of thing, though, that as far as I'm concerned is a learning page, because by the time I do figure out what I really want, and I make her look as nice as I want her to, I will have learned a lot of things. So I do, and I also do like how these pages end up looking, because you get all those little bits that are left over from the various different layers. Layering is an art in and of itself, and one that makes me very happy. This is one of those pages that I was super happy with it. Just overall, pretty quickly. Those are not as common as they used to be in my journal. I chalk it up to depression and aging, but who knows. This was just added recently, and it was just a layering process with some of my new stencils. Have we even had any blank pages yet? I don't think we have. So I have these 2 blank pages here to work on. These were done. This, I think, was a lesson. This, I think, I just did on my own. These were really in the early stages of this journal, so probably around, like January, February. Couple more blank pages. The last Maddie page in my journal, probably the last Maddie page I'll have for a long time. Makes me really sad just to look at it, but it is what it is. I was actually trying to demonstrate to Maddie how she could layer a yellow pencil and an orange pencil to get a flesh color because she was frustrated with the color that she chose. So I was showing her how she can do that. I am really proud to say Maddie is actually following my Patreon video this month for drawing, which is super exciting. And so I can still teach her art from long distance. I can't wait until Logan is old enough as well. This is another one of those where I had the cutter sketch out my stencil design. I used the other half of it, I think, in this journal somewhere, but maybe not. Maybe a different journal. These pages were, this was in April. I'm assuming this was probably right around the same time. Super happy with both of these. Again, from way in the very beginning. Oops, the camera's moving. And this was just like a wrapping, like a zombie wrapping idea I had, but it ended up being really tiny and probably too detailed for what I was hoping for. This was when I first started going through my, I guess you would say, creative block, depression block, COVID block, whatever you want to call it. Although this particular block happened mostly because things blew up in my personal life. And then I came in and said, like, this is the first art I've done in weeks, and then proceeded to not do any art again for weeks. So that's the way that goes sometimes in life. I still hate this page. I mean, I love the page. I shouldn't say that. I still don't like this girl's face, so I don't know if I will, and her hair. I don't know if I will change it or leave it, but it's like my least satisfied page in this whole journal. This one, however, I absolutely love, strangely enough. Let's see. Oh, and this is the last page, and this is actually, I have been cutting down old art journal pages and old pieces of art and trying to reuse them, so that is what this is. This was actually done in a different journal, and this also came from a different part of this page, and I only liked the flower and this, so I just cut the parts I liked, threw away the rest. And then I did some journaling there. So that is the end. And I really think this journal has this one will probably be finished in just a couple of days. Now, I do have enough file folders to make another file folder journal, and I'm very tempted to do that because I really did enjoy this, but I'm definitely binding it differently if I do. And probably I'm going to cut it down. As much as I like all the tabs that are on here, I feel like this is a little bigger than what I want to work in right now. So I think I might cut it, down so that it doesn't have any of that. Or maybe, well, yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this flip, and I will see you around the internets.